Hi, and welcome to Cheryl TV. I'm outside right now because it's so beautiful. Get on this. It's so beautiful out here. It feels so good to be free from codependency. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Let's go inside.
Woo. Good evening. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out.
Pretty good. All right, thank you. We're going to talk about codependency today. Just a little bit. Because I think that it is so prevalent among a lot of women. And I am an expert regarding women's issues. Self-made expert. So codependency is basically about having a dysfunctional relationship with yourself. Most of the time you don't think highly of yourself. You think of the other person more than yourself. And most of the time you do have a gift of caregiving. And you kind of take it overboard. Like you love giving to people. You love seeing people happy. But what happens is the dysfunction comes in when that person is more important than you. How they feel is more important than you. What they think, you're constantly thinking about. If they're upset, you're upset. You know, it shouldn't be like that. That's a dysfunctional, codependent relationship. I was reading that codependency is an emotional and behavioral defense system which was adopted by our egos in order to meet our need to survive as a child. So most of the time you develop this as a child. You develop this defense mechanism as a child. You just want to see everybody happy. You just don't want to see any disruptions. Nobody, make a wrong move. It's up to you to make sure the atmosphere stays happy. And so you grow up trying to be in control. You're trying to be in control. You're trying to control the whole atmosphere. You're trying to make sure everybody's happy. And then you develop low self-esteem because you're trying to make everybody happy and you're taking personal what this person that you're attached to says. And they're probably a narcissist because you most likely are attracted to narcissists because that's just who comes together. Codependence and narcissists. And we all know what narcissists is. It's just people that think too highly of themselves. They only think of themselves. So you're constantly thinking of them and they're constantly thinking of them. Who's thinking of you? We as women codependent on our men. I know about the liberation thing and I'll deal with that later because I think that is all the way on the other side because that's not balanced either. Codependence is about giving away your power or your self-esteem. But as I said, we all need to be codependent on God. That's the only person we need to be codependent on. There is interdependence, and that's about making allies and forming partnerships and things like that. They're very different. When you're codependent on someone, you need them. But when you're interdependent, you like having them around. They help you. They help you to grow. So one way of knowing that if you're in a codependent or interdependent relationship, is that relationship helping you grow? Does it make you feel better? Does it make you strive to do better? Most of us are codependent on something. We're all codependent on something because that something is supposed to be God. And so it's to have that balance, you definitely have to seek God. Codependency can occur in any type of relationship, including family, work, friendship, romance, any type of relationship, codependency can occur. Codependency may also be characterized by denial. It's low self-esteem, of course, like I said, excessive compliance on someone, control patterns. All these things create a codependent relationship. There are several things you can do to seek help. First, reach out to your friends. That's the first place that you should reach out to because they probably already told you that you're codependent, but probably not in that way. They probably told you that you're too far gone or you're around that person too much or you care about what that person thinks too much. Any of those things that they said to you probably means you're a codependent. Second, you can go to therapy. Sometimes it is something that has to be done by a therapist or a professional because if it's really deep, you need to go to a professional. And really first you should seek God. You should definitely pray and ask God to show you if you have codependency tendencies. So those are the 3 things that you can do to get out of the codependency. Well, that's all the time I have. Thank you for tuning in to Cheryl TV. We're going to talk about so many other things. We're going to talk about low self-esteem symptoms. We're going to talk about trusting God when you don't see Him in relationships or anywhere in your life. We're going to talk about the abuse, physical, emotional, verbal. We're going to talk about why are you attracted to the wrong people. We're going to talk about discovering your passion and living on purpose, because that's what I'm all about, passion and purpose.